If you're looking for depth in a shallow world, then you found your flow. I'm Matthew Brown. This is The Undercurrent. How do we dive beneath the surface? How do we unpack layers of things that are truly, authentically, purely distinct? How is that specialty crafted? Well, the first thing we'd have to realize is that what you see is never all there is. How many times can you think of examples in your life where you thought you were seeing one thing, and yet it was either a hologram, it was a figment of your imagination, or it was a shadow of your own internal perception? What do you mean by that? Well, my point is sometimes that we look at things and we believe that what we see, that's all there is. And I promise you that from you to the relationships that you're in, the purpose circles that you have, the spaces that you thrive in, it's not all there. There is something that is way beneath the surface, but we don't take time to really unpack it because there is something inherent in us that simply wants to accept what's in front of us. We never want to unpack. We don't want to move to other spaces because there is an inherent fear in us that if we look deep enough, we might find something that either scares us, surprises us, or inspires us. So let me help you and walk through in my own life what's beneath the surface. What makes you you? I often say that that my conversations with God are like this. Hey, the you that I made you is not the you that you're being. The you that you are being is the you that you've become because you refuse to go beneath the surface. So there is a you that represents myself to the public. Then there's the you that struggles with the purpose that's on my life. Now, maybe I'm no different than you are, but you got to look and say, what's really there? Because what I'm seeing is never all that's there. So we've got to dive deep, and we have to be bold enough and courageous enough to look at the parts of us that may not necessarily be most attractive, but they are most necessary. What's hiding beneath the surface of your smile? What's hiding beneath the surface of your laugh? What's beneath the surface of your relationships? What is beneath the surface of your faith? Have you come to faith, or do you just kind of live out a life that whatever appears in front of you, that's what you deal with? That may be cool, but you got to figure that out, because here's the other point that I want to make to you is that I think that there's a lot of complexity behind the clarity. Things that appear, they look as though they are whole, but they are the compilation, they are the manifestation, they are all of the stuff that makes us uniquely ourselves. So you and I are simple creatures, but yet we have complex compositions. We are made up, and we are the sum total of all of our experiences. And so if we're going to talk about diving beneath the surface, then it's going to require a sense of reality, right? That everything that we see is not really everything that we see. Then it's going to require a sense of boldness. Take the dive. Go ahead. Take the leap, right? And watch this. When you dive into it and you begin to see that the things that you thought were there, now they're still there, but now you know how they've been made up. You understand the experiences, the trauma. You understand the hurt, the pain, the ups, the downs, the triumphs, the tragedies that have created the moment because you were bold enough to take the dive. right? And then, or I would say even the leap, right? Um, let's use leap. It is leveraging, it is making sure that you accelerate, right? So that's you accelerating your possibilities. You're leaping into something that appeared to be one thing, and then you found the beauty of how it all came together. And then I think that we've got to figure out, how do we move from the having the skill of diving deep into a conviction now that's a part of our purpose. That everything that I see from now on, I will take it for face value, and then I will be curious. Be curious to find out how this has come to pass, how this complexity has now become clear for me, that what I thought was something else now is just really simply what it is. And then you come to a place where you can appreciate the dive. You know, when I think about beneath the surface, I think about my oldest daughter, Kiana. We were coming home one night, and the house that we lived in was it was sort of an older home. And you would come through the front door, and right in the little hallway before we went into the house, there was this little hallway, and there was a light there. And that light should be on, right? But the light wasn't. Light wasn't on. And we were walking in. I had the key, I opened the door. And the first thing she said was, "Dad, I'm scared." I said, "What's wrong?" She says, "The light is out and I can't see you." And I said to her, "Yana, I'm right here." And she said, "That's okay now." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I can hear your voice." Do you see what was behind this? The issue sometimes is that when we see what's there, what's really there is never all there is. What she needed was the voice, the confidence, and the comfort of her parent, that even when I can't see you, I can hear your voice. There's some things that you have to figure out for your own life that maybe it seems a little complex, but it's very clear. And maybe faith is one of them. How do you have faith, not only in God or in the God of your understanding, but how do you have faith in yourself? How do you know that the skill that you have possessed is really now turning into a conviction? I mean, you're doing it so well that it's purposeful. You're doing it so well that you think it's part of your calling. And yet, you have been misjudged. Because while what you see is never all there is, how people see you, they will then judge you based upon what we talked about before, the enemy of your calling, which is culture. Maybe you don't fit into that. Maybe you don't subscribe to the things that they think are necessary, because what they're missing out is judging and pretending and misperceiving that what they see in you, that's all there is. I promise you, you are deeper, you are better, you have more creativity, you've got drive, but you are the untold story. You are the unsung song. You're the lyric that hasn't been written yet. You're the melody that's moving around in your head. You're the purpose, you're the drive. Man, God has given you so many amazing skills, but it's how you show up. How are you showing up? Because you're beneath the surface. You're beneath the culture surface. You're beneath the trend surface, and yet you stand up. How does greatness stand out in a world that is basically asking you to always fit into its culture? I want to remind you that you're better than you've given yourself credit. You are more powerful than you've ever imagined. And this is not psychobabble. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you what someone needs to remind you of your greatness. That beneath the surface, beneath the shallow high, beneath the casual, hey, I'm good, there is a powerful, wonderfully constructed, beautifully called, and intentionally purposed person waiting to rise from beneath the surface and be seen as the great, distinctive you. This is The Undercurrent. Hey everyone, this is Matthew Brown. I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. I want you to subscribe so we can notify you when the next podcast drops. It's going to be amazing. Thank you.